This week, the Luxury Channel, in association with Dalmore Whiskey and Snow Leopard Vodka, were at Salon QP.
We're in London at Salon QP. It's the first ever salon of this kind in London, and it's basically presenting some of the best watches in the world.
What we wanted to do is to show the world what really goes into these watches. We have various watchmakers here showing how these watches are made, to illustrate the stories behind watchmaking.
To see this many luxury pieces in one place at the same time is actually really quite rare.
The idea of an exhibition like this is that, you know, you can come along and be surprised, and you know, you're free to look at whatever there is, you know, from Harry Winston to Bell & Ross to Vacheron Constantin.
We've seen some interesting watches, like the TAG V4, which is a completely new mechanism on the watch market.
TAG Heuer have a watch that's driven by belts. I mean, you know, to say it's plastic bands would be very unfair, but is incredibly advanced.
We started with visuals of engines of cars, and we looked at car engines from the 60s and car engines of the year 2000. So watch engines, if you want to call them, right, they hardly evolved over the last 30 years.
How does it actually work? What is new about it?
The true revolutionary part is that in normal watches, since Big Ben and earlier than that, you have cogwheels. You have a gear which has cogwheels and that. The problem is with cogwheels, there's always a bit of tolerance. They sort of wobble a little bit, and therefore you have less precision, and you lose energy and you have less precision. What you have here, we have two wheels connected by a drive belt, like in your car, and they move perfectly parallel.
The watch industry has been quite strange in that actually the industry has done very well, particularly on the consumer side, right throughout this year. It's been something of an anomaly.
I'm seeing a big resurgence in expensive pieces, high-end pieces. The market from 30,000 up to 200,000 is really strong. And the reason it doesn't really get affected is because there's a lot more truth behind the higher-end stuff, because there genuinely is fewer made.
Recent years, the atmosphere's changed. A certain frivolity's gone. A watch really has to be like punching its weight, as it were, even in its beautiful simplicity.
Part of the point of this event is to show people what goes into watches. You know, why are watches priced at 20 or 50 or 100,000 pounds? How can you get to that value without diamonds? The answer is in the work that goes into these watches, and we thought that by bringing watchmakers over from Switzerland, people will get a chance to see the level, the volume of work, and also to get a chance to see into the watches they might buy in a way they never will once they own them, because you know, they're too expensive to open.
There are some things that obviously just grasp you instantly. I've been very lucky today to see and get my grubby mitts on a gorgeous watch that I've always admired and never actually been able to physically see, because it's a very rare piece, and at £250,000, not many people stock it.
The Opus 9 is the latest watch in a series that Harry Winston started. For everyone in the watch industry, the Opus series really is an annual surprise. People actually really look forward to it. What will Harry Winston do next? The idea is that Harry Winston collaborates with someone different every year, and the roll call of people involved is really the sort of, you know, the top 10 watchmakers of the present day. This year was a collaboration between a designer, Eric Giroux, and a watchmaker called Jean-Marc Videret. And it's just one of the most clever watches I've ever seen.
It's a slightly confused but rather fabulous watch. It is a digital watch that is mechanically powered.
It's a very simple idea, but just very, very different. The time is indicated by these sort of two chains of diamonds rotate around the whole case. It's a very simple display idea, obviously incredibly complicated to put together.
We have Jorn Verdelin from Lind Verdelin, which is a company that has developed a watch which has got a very strong, active element about it.
Well, first of all, we make watches that are mechanical, Swiss-made, very much like a traditional one, but very sporty. And then we add instruments to it. We got 2 instruments. One which is for skiing, the other one which is for diving. For us, it's the real sports watch. It's the ultimate sports watch. And what we found when we started out was that a lot of people, they say they sell sports watches, but the reality is that you can't do any sporting with them.
Yeah.
If you want to ski, if you want to dive, especially when you want to dive, you need a diving computer.
We have Michel Parmigiani from Fleurier in Switzerland. Michel doesn't speak English, so I'm going to do the sort of simultaneous translation. This watch has been taken from the Bugatti Veyron, and the watch is set in a tubular crystal, and it's set on its side, so basically it looks like an engine.
L'ispirazione viene dalla Veyron. Quando ho visto la Veyron c'è un motore.
I asked him what the core expression of his watch. Straightforward, let's face it, it's the motor. It's the Veyron's motor through and through, translated in watch form, and it's basically an engine for your wrist. Watches are men's only form of jewelry, unless you have a pinky ring. And so they're very important for a man. It basically illustrates what sort of a man he is. If he's a technical man, if he's an artistic man, it says it in their watch.
Why I find watchmaking interesting is it brings these disparate elements of engineering, design, tradition, skill, craft. So it comes all together in one package.